campus near you Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 3:30, or right now at homecc.edu. And remember, your tuition could be free with a 20 on your ACT.
Holmes Community College.
No place like Holmes.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome in to the Lindsay Beckham Show. Happy Monday, everyone. Of course, we always start our show off with words of wisdom, words of liberty from our great founding fathers, founders of the greatest country to ever exist, from our book, Live in Liberty Daily. I like to call it a Madison Minute. Of course, that's a Moms for Liberty term, but we thrive on starting every single meeting with words from our founders that we can take and apply to our daily lives today. We never want to forget what the intent was for our country. And so this is our quote for today from John Jay in a letter to Mrs. Sally J., July 29th, 1776, as published in the Life of John Jay. He said this: I always endeavor to anticipate good instead of ill fortune, and find it turns to good account. Were this practice more general, I fancy mankind would experience more happiness than they usually do. So very true. And I think there's a country music song that goes a little bit like that. I believe most people are good. And I think that should be our mindset. We shouldn't automatically want to see the bad in other people or automatically think that other people think ill of us. I tell my kids all the time, don't be so consumed and so worried about what somebody else is thinking or what they're thinking about you, because I can bet money that I don't have that they're so consumed in their own world and their own issues that you're probably the last thought in their head. So I think this quote kind of goes along those lines, and really words that we most definitely could apply to our daily lives today. We're going to get into a lot of things today. Of course, we are going to talk about this situation where this news went viral real quick, like over the weekend. National news outlets picked it up, and a lot of Mississippians were extremely upset about a new judge that had been appointed. Now, I did make a post on Facebook yesterday, on social media yesterday, saying that this was false information. I had to go back and update and partially correct that. The word on the street, or what these social media posts, a lot of them were saying, was that this was a judge who had been appointed in Ridgeland. That is not the case, and we are going to hear from Mayor Gene McGee over in Ridgeland. He's going to call in towards the end of the show to give his thoughts about the situation and to confirm and reiterate that this is not happening in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Now, I dug and dug and dug, and I searched and I searched and I searched. I could find no confirmation anywhere that this had actually taken place in any part of Mississippi. And so I thought it was most likely a planted news piece just to get people stirred up. People like to do that these days. People like to cause division and chaos. I mean, just look at Ben Crump, for example. And so that was my thoughts on what was happening. But then this morning we have heard, and if you were listening to Andrew Gosser, I know he was talking about this as well, that this judge was actually appointed a municipal judge over in Benoit, Mississippi. Now, I feel like had the citizens known, or Mississippians in general known, that this would have been part of their agenda, this particular person they chose to appoint, people would have shown up in droves to speak out against this. Of course, if you are a Christian, if you are conservative, you most likely believe along the lines of most people on this radio station that Sharia law has no place in the United States of America. Again, going back to our founding fathers and their vision for this country, the reason they risked everything, absolutely everything, in order to break free, to become independent, so that we could have freedom, real freedom. This wouldn't sit well with them. Wouldn't sit well with them at all. And so I know that there are a lot of upset people. One thing Mississippi does is allow mayors to appoint municipal judges in areas where they do not reside. So my thought process was, surely this woman who works and lives in Ridgeland, Mississippi, is not going to drive all the way to Bolivar County in order to become one of their judges. But lo and behold, it looks like that is exactly what is going to happen, or what has happened. I know she has officially posted her official documents saying, her swearing in, that she is now a municipal judge over in Benoit. So it will be extremely interesting to see the backlash that the city officials, the mayor, get. I know Andrew had tried to call over there and said that they have taken the phone off the hook. That does not surprise me. It does not surprise me one bit. I was telling Mayor McGee when I talked to him yesterday, I can only imagine the way the phones will be blowing up tomorrow. And I think they already were over the weekend over in Ridgeland, just because that was the information that had been put out. I saw his picture all over social media claiming that this is the man. This is the one you need to call. This is the one you need to complain to. This is who made this appointment. Obviously, now we know that is not the case. I bet the next city council meeting in Benoit will be quite lively. I feel sure of it. Now, I know Clay talked about Nolan Wells, the situation, the latest happening over in Ocean Springs. I've said this, I know we've beat this horse to death, and I've said this a million times, but if you're a grieving mother, and I meant to start the show today. I was going to start the show today with, "Hey, Boo Bears." I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I promise never to talk to y'all like that. I will only talk to my kids that way. But if you are a grieving mother who is truly searching for answers, you truly believe there is some foul play involved in some way, shape, or form, and you're not getting the answers that you are so desperately seeking every day this woman posts to her social media, the only question that matters is what happened to Nolan Wells. But now we find out you haven't turned his cell phone over to law enforcement. You refuse to speak to the parents of the boys Nolan was with that day, the ones who he went out to Horn Island with. You don't want to speak to them. You won't call them back. You won't sit down and go through the toxicology report and the official autopsy with the medical examiner. Yet you're still yelling and screaming about wanting answers and wanting justice. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, because to me, that makes no sense whatsoever. I can't wrap my head around it unless you just don't want to acknowledge the fact that maybe this was an accident. That in fact, maybe he did drink a little too much. Maybe a current caught him and he just couldn't fight it, given he had been out in the sun all day. There was alcohol involved. And maybe, just maybe, there wasn't actually any foul play involved at all. Maybe his friends are innocent, like they have said all along. Maybe you have caused this ruckus, this division, by bringing in these bad actors like Ben Crump. And it went national. Now there's a community that is going to have a lot of healing to do because of your actions, Christine, because of your actions, Boo Bear, because of the allegations that you have made with no basis to back those up, all while refusing to speak to anyone who was with Nolan that day, to go over the toxicology report and the autopsy, and to hand his phone over. You've refused to do those things, but you want answers so badly. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know that I believe you, Boo Bear. I don't know that I believe you, Miss Influencer. Because from over here, to me, in my opinion, sadly, it looks like you saw an opportunity and you took it. Now, obviously, this boy did lose his life, and it's so tragic. A very sad situation all the way around. But what his mother has done through her actions and words since the 4th of July is tarnish his legacy and his name. Because now when you hear Nolan Wells, you don't think of an outstanding young man. You don't think of a good student, a great football player, a good friend, an asset to the community. No, you don't think of any of those things. You think of racial division and hate. That's what she has done to her son's name. It's quite disgusting, if you ask me. We got to take a break. There's a whole lot more I want to get to today. I want to talk about the parking lot over in North Carolina, the senior parking space, the flag situation, what became of all of that. I do have an update. Sophie Cunningham and her white privilege. Trans community, they just don't give up, do they? They don't ever stop. Even though we all know there's no such thing as trans. And pageant queens losing their titles all over the place, being stripped of their titles for refusing to acknowledge what they say is true, that a man can become a woman. Is your stomach turning yet? Stay with us. We're going to be right back here. 103.9 WIB, The Lindsay Beckham Show. IB, The Lindsay Beckham Show.
103.9 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
This is Demario Davis from the New Orleans Saints. As a Brandon, Mississippi native, I've seen the positive effects Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge has across the state. Help us restore broken families and fight against addiction by donating an unneeded vehicle, even if it doesn't run. Mercy House will pick it up for you. All paperwork is handled and you receive a tax deduction. Call 601-572-7296 or visit vehicledonationsms.com.
Thank you for helping us get our daddies back.
Want insider tips on foundation repair, maintenance, and how to protect your biggest investment? Todd Sandridge, owner of Superior Foundation Services, will be dropping in this month for quick interviews with your favorite local hosts. Whether you're dealing with cracks, settling, or just want peace of mind, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Superior Foundation Services, helping you stay on solid ground. Find them online at superior.ms. That's superior.ms.
It's all systems go this month at Mazda of Jackson. With rates as low as 0% with approved credit, come test drive the all-new, fully redesigned 2026 Mazda CX-5. More room for you and your cargo makes the third-generation CX-5 the best yet. Mazda's best-selling SUV also comes with 1-year maintenance included on your new vehicle purchase. And Mazda of Jackson still specializes in certified pre-owned vehicles with hassle-free trade-in options available. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's, it's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. We are live here in the WYAB studios. We are also streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. I'd love to have you call in to the show today, share your facts, opinions, beliefs, I'm waiting for Thomas. Hadn't heard from him yet today or this week so far. It is only Monday, though. Give him time. You can call into the show, 601-879-0002. You can also text in to the Lindsay Beckham Show text line. That number is 601-879-4648. You can also hop in the live stream chat. We have several people in there talking about this situation with the new judge over in Benoit who was just appointed.
They're talking about.
Hey there, caller. You're on there.
Situation with the new judge.
How you doing?
Hey.
You're just calling into the show for a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just calling in because I'm listening to the show first time. My mom and I are just traveling on the highway, and I was just bothered by the fact that your host, Miss Beck, is making the mother of this young man into a villain based on what she's saying about her not turning over the phone and that she just wants answers. I think everybody really just wants answers, period, regardless of whether or not it's an accident or if it's actually a crime. And my also thoughts is whether or not she knows about I'm sure she does, about the tape that they recovered from the tow call-in that has these guys talking in the back about whether or not he's dead, wake up. Is she aware of that? And she's not really mentioning that on the show today.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, we got a bad connection. I'll answer you offline. I don't know what was going on there, but yes. So I'm sure the mother is aware of the C-call audio. Now, I don't believe those were the words that were actually being said in the background. There was a lot going on. It was chaotic. They are a bunch of young kids partying on the 4th of July on a boat. And this woman who says that she has this audio engineer degree, cleaned up the audio, and then she put text on top of it saying what she believes the audio, what these kids in the background are saying. Now, I just completely disagree with her. It is absolutely confirmed that Nolan was still on Horn Island long after that boat left. He did not get on the boat. He was not with those boys. They're not responsible for his death. Now, I'm not sure what happened after that, if it was an accident or if there was foul play, but we know those boys weren't involved either way. I'm sorry you think I am vilifying Christine Wells Wansley, but in all due respect, sir, she has vilified her son's best friends. And she has been pretty clear about the fact it's because they're white. She got on live television during a press conference and made the comment that she had to talk to her kids about being in places with people who look different than them. And then she spoke to mothers and said this, especially Black mothers, this is an issue. When we are moving through places and spaces with people who look different than we do. In my opinion, that is a downright, blatantly racist comment. She has vilified these boys, making claims that they had his phone and that things have been erased from his phone, yet she will not even hand the phone over to law enforcement and investigators so that they can get all the information off of the phone in order to prove if that's accurate or not. Why? If she wants answers so badly, why? What is the reasoning behind not wanting to do everything within your power, working with law enforcement and investigators to get to the root of it all, to get to the answers that she claims she so badly wants? I just don't believe that. I think she saw an opportunity in this. And that's just the way I feel. Hey there, you're on there. Hello. Hey, caller. Okay, I don't know what is going on with the phone lines today. I am not sure, but they are hard to listen to. Definitely a bad connection somewhere. So I'm sorry about that. You can try calling back. But that connection was not good. That would not be pleasurable to the listening ear there. So yeah, so I mean, those are my thoughts on the situation, and I don't understand it. I just do not understand it. Why this mom claims that she so badly wants answers, but refuses to look at any of the factual information or work with the investigators. Okay, let's try this one more time. Looks like both lines are ringing at the same time. Let's see. Hey there, you're on there.
Yes, I was wondering, why do you say it about the young man's mother like that?
Thomas, what you mean? I just broke it down very clearly.
She can't say that. Like it's like a precautionary or something in certain instances.
Do
like
what?
You wouldn't do that as a mother?
No, you know what I would do as a mother? Do you know what I would do as a mother? I would most definitely want the phone extraction. I would hand that phone over immediately so I could get the extraction. So I could hold up. Let me finish. So I could see exactly what happened that day, because those phones record everything. If someone attempted to delete anything, even if someone picks a phone up, it records it. So she could have all of that information if she would work with law enforcement and the investigators, yet she has refused to do so. She doesn't want to look at the toxicology reports. She doesn't want to look at the autopsy, the official one, and she doesn't want to hand over the cell phone, yet she continues to jump up and down screaming she wants answers and justice. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up.
What about the statement that she made? What's wrong with that?
What statement? About moving through places and you need to be careful about what color people you're with?
Yeah.
If you don't see how blatantly racist that is, then I don't know what to tell you, Thomas. What if I taught my white children, hey, you got to be really, really careful if you go anywhere with black people because you might not be safe? You wouldn't think that was racist?
No, I want you to be racist, because you need to be, it's like common sense almost. If you ask me.
The mentality. I don't get it. I
mean, just say if your child, if you got a white child or whatever, and they went somewhere with a busload of black kids, you want to tell them, hey, give them a little pep talk before they go? I think you would.
If I came on this radio show, Thomas, and I said, I sit my kids down and have these discussions with them that they got to be really careful about people that look different than them, you would be calling me racist all day long. You wouldn't be able to punch that phone number in fast enough to call up here and tell me how racist I am.
You probably tell them they went and saw some black kids, if they listen to music, they listen to music, they use the N-word. You can't say the N-word.
I don't think anybody should be saying the N-word. I don't think it's cute when black people do it either.
When the song says the N-word, don't say the N-word with them.
Well, I don't think they should be saying it either. That's a part of the culture. And that's what's wrong with our country today.
But that's all of us, even Chinese Americans. They sent their kids somewhere with a bunch of Chinese children. You'll tell them something too. Like, don't do everything they do.
I disagree completely. we're all human. There's one human race.
Like a Chinese child may convince your child to do something that you never done before.
Thomas, are you saying that other white kids couldn't try to convince my kids to do something I wouldn't want them to do?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, the cultures are different. So the kids in other cultures may do stuff that's different than what your child is used to, that your child should not do.
That makes no sense. I instill in my children values and morals according to what's right and what's wrong, and according to God's law. We don't go by who's what color. That's racist.
That's not racist.
It's
What I'm
absolutely
saying is,
racist.
It's certain things that every culture does differently.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. That's
But
all I'm
so are
saying.
you, Thomas, are you trying to tell me that the black culture participates in crime and we shouldn't?
You know what I'm saying? That black kids do things differently, white kids do things differently, and Chinese kids do things differently. So,
But if it's not
some
anything
stuff
that's going to hurt
you may
somebody,
not
then what
wanna
does it
do.
matter?
Some stuff you may not want to do. They joke differently. You know what I'm saying?
Christine Wells
Play
Wansley was
differently.
clearly insinuating that her black child was not safe with white people because he was black. That is what she said. That is what she meant.
I don't know that. I don't know that to be true.
Well, I don't know how
That's all
much
I'm
more
saying. I don't
plainly
think-
she
and I
could
don't
have
think
put
it's
it.
racist. You just have to be careful when you go on places with different people, man.
You got to be careful no matter where you go or who you're with. This whole race thing, that shouldn't be a factor. Be friends with people who
Unfortunately, this is
treat you
America.
well.
It is, though. Unfortunately, in America, race is a factor in everything we do.
I don't live my life that way, and I don't see other people around me living their life that way either. We got to take a break, Thomas. Thanks for the call. I knew I'd hear from you real quick once that conversation got going. Y'all stay with us. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show, 103.9 WIB, and we will be right back.
.1039 WYAB.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable. And he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit AmericansForProsperity.org. Be a part of positive change at AmericansForProsperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Hostilities between the U.S. and Iran intensifying over the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says it will not reopen the critical waterway unless the U.S. lifts its naval blockade and pays reparations. Here's ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
The sense generally we have here is that the administration believes that with economic pressure, Iran will somehow come around. The president put it this way in his interview with Axios yesterday. It will work out. It always works out. He said it's like a chess game. In an interview over the weekend, Vice President Vance pointed to sky-high inflation in Iran as an example of how that pressure is working. But what's so interesting is the change.
President Trump, in a new social media post, is now demanding Iran pay reparations. In Western Colombia, at least 50 people are dead following a 7.4 magnitude earthquake. Crews scrambling to reach people trapped following the collapse of buildings in the city of Cali. On Wall Street, stocks are down due to uncertainty in the Middle East. This is ABC News.
Hey, Flora, the farm store in Flora, fresh from the farm right here. The farm store in Flora, organic, local, clear, locally sourced meats and vegetables too. Fresh produce every day, picked just for you. The farm store in Flora, fresh from the farm right here. The farm store in Flora, come see what's fresh today.
Attention troops. General Bob's Swap Shop is moving to a brand new battle time. That's right, General Bob here, so fall in and form up every Saturday from 8 to 11 a.m. on 103.9 WYAB. Bring your bargains, your treasures, your oddities, and your best deals to the front lines to buy, sell, and trade. General Bob's Swap Shop is calling all troops to assemble. Report for General Bob's Swap Shop from 8 to 11 a.m. this Saturday. We're counting on you.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
At Bank of Yazoo, we believe that common sense makes for better banking. That's why we've taken our array of checking accounts and simplified them for you, boiling down features and benefits to create our New You, Achieve You, Benefit You, and Protect You checking accounts. Ready to discover how simple is better? Talk with us today. Bank of Yazoo, Bank of You. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back in to the Lindsay Beckham Show. We have a caller on the line, so we're going to go straight to the phone line. We are hearing from Mayor Gene McGee in Ridgeland. Hey, Mayor, are you there?
I am. Thank you.
Yeah. So how many phone calls you gotten so far today?
Well, really, it's been rather quiet. We had a few yesterday afternoon that I responded to, a couple of three, and a few emails, but it's really become quiet.
Well, good. I'm glad that they didn't overwhelm you with calls fussing at you for something you didn't do. Now, this broke.
Kind of messed with my Sunday afternoon, but that's okay.
It was everywhere. So this news kind of took off like wildfire. And I was saying at the beginning of the show, I dug and looked everywhere I could find absolutely nothing confirming this news anywhere in Mississippi. Of course, much less in Ridgeland. So I reached out to Wesley, one of your aldermen, and he said that if this is not happening in Ridgeland, that you have no appointments open, and that this woman had not been appointed. So I hate that you kind of got thrown into the chaos.
Yeah, it's interesting. We obviously have two municipal judges that have served the city of Ridgeland since actually 2001 and have had no openings and no new appointments. So, it's interesting. I don't know how we got tied up into this saga, but obviously there was a lot of misinformation out there because we certainly haven't appointed anybody lately.
Yeah, and I know this woman that has been appointed. I guess it has been confirmed this morning. She's been appointed over in Benoit, but she has a law practice in Ridgeland. And so I guess that's, you just happen to be the lucky one who you're the mayor of the city where her practice is, her law firm is. So I guess that was the assumption that she had been appointed in Ridgeland, but that is not the case.
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't even know who she is or know anything about her law practice. I'd rather emphasize on the positive things in Ridgeland and not all the, unfortunately, a lot of people like to take misinformation and run with it without checking it out. And that's sad that people do that. You just have that on so many things, that, as you know. But again, we have great municipal judges. We're happy with them. And that's where the city of Ridgeland stands.
Well, thank you so much for clarifying that. I hate that you got thrown into it. I was seeing Facebook posts with your picture and your phone number, and I thought to myself, oh no, he's going to have a busy Monday fielding phone calls. But I'm glad they've kind of died down now that I guess everything has been clarified. But thank you for taking the time to call in and let us know. It's not Ridgeland. You did not appoint her. And Ridgeland has two municipal judges that you're very happy with, right?
Right, exactly. Well, thank you so much, Lindsay, and we'll see you soon, I think.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mayor.
All right,
bye-bye.
bye-bye.
So that was Mayor of Ridgeland, Gene McGee, confirming that the rumors, the posts, the social media that went viral over the weekend saying that this particular judge had been appointed in Ridgeland is not accurate. Of course, we now know that it is Benoit over in Bolivar County where she has been appointed. I looked up Bolivar County. Of course, it is located, I looked up Benoit. Of course, it is located in Bolivar County, Mississippi Delta. Seems to be a small, quiet place. So maybe that's why she is able to take on this appointment and remain practicing law over in Ridgeland. It might just be a certain day or two of the month that she has to travel over to that area in order to do this new job she has. We do have some comments in the chat. Victor says, quit watching Fox News and get back to enjoying life again. That would be nice, Victor, but I also think you need to be informed about what's happening in the world around you. Case in point, this very instance. In my opinion, these are not the type of people that we need to be appointing to any position in leadership within our state. Mr. Dilligaff said, wait till they start playing the call to prayer 5 times a day. I have said for the longest time, if Christians were as strong in their faith and as disciplined in their faith as the Muslim community, we'd be a heck of a lot better off because they don't miss those prayers. Hey there, you're on the air.
I had a question about what's the big deal about the Muslim lawyer being appointed in Benoit? What's the big deal? I'm still trying to figure out what's the big story. What is it, because she's a Muslim, or is it because she's a woman? She is a practicing attorney, so I'm trying to figure out what's the big deal.
We have seen in a lot of areas across the country Sharia law being ushered in or attempted to be ushered in, and Americans do not want to abide by Sharia law. And so I think anytime we see someone like this being appointed or being put into a place of leadership, it causes us to question.
So do you think it's more the reason people feel that way because of ignorance, because they really haven't done their homework and really read up on or read the Quran or read that all Muslims are not a monolith, that they have different sects and different beliefs, no different than Christians. We have different sects and different beliefs, but yet everybody.
What do you mean by different?
Imagine if we just said all Christians have, every Christian doesn't practice the same.
Oh, you mean a sect? Okay, I see what you're saying.
Sect. Like you got Shia, you got Sunni.
Yeah.
You have fundamentalists, so it's a wide range. So why would we just basically group everybody together as one big monolith? If you're a Muslim, then you got to believe in Sharia law, and you got to believe in torture, or you got to believe in chopping people's hands off, or what have you. So I think a lot of it is just ignorance. If she's a practicing attorney and she's in good standing with the bar in Mississippi, there shouldn't really be an issue. But I'll tell you this. I think when we talk about the Nolan Wells case, we talk about it in terms of race now, and we tend to blame Al Sharpton and being front, but we got our own house that we need to clean in Mississippi, and it's just the truth. We still celebrate Confederate Heritage Month. We still celebrate Robert E. Day. The government does. So we're talking about we're making all of this progress, but you got the governor announcing Confederate Heritage Month and things of that nature, and you wonder why the world looks at us, and when Mississippi pops up, they look at us like, huh?
Well, first of all, I think Mississippi has made a ton of course, we have a history, everybody does, but Mississippi has made a lot of stride here, and I think that those things should be celebrated. And when you have an instance like Nolan Wells, it does nothing but cause more division, and it puts a stain on our state. It makes people think that there is a whole lot of racism going on here, and I'm telling you, I don't see that every day. I've lived here almost my entire life. Hold on, John. Hold on. You got to talk, and I'm going to respond to you. You're talking about two different subjects here. Now, when it comes to this judge being appointed, this is a country that was built of Christian principles. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. So I do have a problem with someone being appointed to a position of power who does not believe the same as I and what this country was founded on.
But there's a difference between church and state, right? And that's why they have
No, I don't
separation
believe
of church
so.
and state. But they do. That's the law.
That's what's always been said, but that's not in fact what was meant.
But that's what I'm trying to see. See, this kind of stuff, that's what makes us look bad is when we got stories floating around the internet and we from Mississippi and we run around doing cartwheels because a practicing attorney has been appointed legally. I mean, she's a practicing attorney. That's my thing. But again,
it doesn't matter if she's a practicing attorney. That's not what people have the problem with, John. That's not where the problem lies.
The Bible tells us what? Respect others. Love your brother. If we move from a place of respect and love, you shouldn't have a problem. We respect.
I don't not respect her or not love her, but I have a problem with her being in a position of authority when she does not believe the way that I believe. When she's not a Christian, like I said, our country was founded on Judeo-Christian values. There's something crazy going on with the phone line today.
Christians, but yet but right here in our own state, we still celebrating Confederate Heritage and Robert E. Lee Day. So you tell us, have we really made that much progress?
I believe we have. I think we have made a ton of progress. I gotta go, John. Have another call. Let's see if we can get it to. Hey there, you're on the air.
Hey, John, what's wrong with celebrating history? Okay,
right.
I wish the story of New Light was required reading in Mississippi schools because we won't have stuff like what this guy is feeling. Everybody didn't side with the Confederacy, sir.
Yeah, and you know, I don't have a problem.
From the schools only.
What now?
Hello?
Can you hear me? There's some.
I can't now.
Okay, something up with the phone lines today. Yeah, I don't have a problem celebrating those people who fought for what they believed in. I mean, that is our history, and we learn from history so that it's not repeated.
Well, they fought for their states, not necessarily the Confederate idea. That's what people are not understanding. P.G.T. Beauregard was a prime example. Because one of the things that annoyed him is that they wouldn't let him use his Creole troops.
Yeah, well, you can't get that through to some people.
Yeah, and then the story of New Light and the Free State of Jones should be required reading. But again,
no, they're too busy with overly sexualized, inappropriate reading in schools today, Derek.
Yeah, well, what I called about was to debunk something. People need to stop with the separation of church and state thing. That was actually a ruling in a court case. The actual woman that her real issue during that time, because it was something that was going on, regardless of what your opinion about it was, the schools were pushing a certain type of religion and worship on the kids. The actual Constitution says that government can establish laws governing the practice of religion. Separation of church and state is what they try to interpret it from.
Right, so exactly. And that's what I was trying. That's what I was trying to say. I didn't say it as well as you just did, but that's what I was attempting to say to John. He's confused on what that means.
Right. Separation of church and state was an opinion. The actual issue that the atheist woman, whose son that she was arguing about having to do that, actually ended up becoming a Christian minister. But it wasn't the fact that they had to pray and things like that when you do the research. A lot of the schools, mine included, which one it was is not important, were bringing their churches in and their pastors and their form of religion in. You can't do that. The prayer was never really taken out of the schools. That was a propaganda piece. What they were doing is they were establishing certain practices and certain churches were allowed to come in and do certain things. Right. That's what the law is actually talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I got to go. Got to take our last break. Derek, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're going to be right back here on the Lindsay Beckham Show, 103.9 WYAB.
WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable, and he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
You had an accident. Now you're hearing aftermarket parts, insurance company preferred, and a lot of other noise that serves to confuse you. Call Clinton Body Shop. We'll keep it simple. We are certified by 19 vehicle makers to assure you get a proper repair. We care about your investment and your safety. Call the shop who only wants one partner in the repair process, and that's you, the owner. In Clinton and in Ridgeland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
Come on down to Ascension. Come on in, Sunday worship 10 a.m. Amen. Jackson, Mississippi will sing with you. Pastor Christine sharing good news. Come on down to Ascension. Join the choir. Feel God's love lifting you higher. Ascension Lutheran Church for saving you a few.
For over 2 decades, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for auto repair and maintenance. Brake repair and replacement, radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, AC, and water pumps. A1 will get your vehicle back up and running fast. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, rings, and pinions. A1 Gear and Auto, Highway 49 in Florence. A1 Gear and Auto, your trusted auto repair shop.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Sun coming up.
Welcome back into the last minute or so of the Lindsay Beckham Show. We still did not get to the flag story. We will most definitely be recapping that at some point this week. I was trying to get to some of your comments in the chat, but you know what? The callers come first, unless you're Thomas, or here's the thing, John. I am kidding. I'm just kidding. But Mr. Dilligaff did say, we just don't want or need them, John. How about that? We did have people as far as from the UK listening today. So I appreciate everybody who tuned in, who watched on the live stream, who participated in the phone calls and the live stream comment section. I'll be right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, and maybe we'll actually get to some of the show prep I've done. See y'all then. Have a great day. Bye.